beautiful lights. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you and happy Archangel Michael Day to you. So much protection, so much love, so much light. Absolutely love Wednesdays. Absolutely love Wednesdays. So, hello, I'm just going to wait a little bit until people are able to come on, and I might wish you a happy Michael Day again in a little bit. So, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to those who are coming on with the replay. So, what I love about this 9 a.m. time with us, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, is that Spirit has dropped in for me to be able to set up certain times so that you all know when I am coming on. And so I am much obliging to Spirit. I am going with Spirit. So wonderful to see some people hop on. Hello, hello. Hi, Angelica. Beautiful to see you here. And then it's interesting because I feel like with the live videos, if we're not friends, I'm not necessarily seeing you. So I see some extras in here and it's not letting me see who the extras are. So I always think that's interesting. So yes, good morning, Angelica. So wonderful to have you on. Hi, Rebecca. Hi. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful to have you. This is so awesome. It's like our little powwow, right? We all come together and are able to be in each other's high vibe and help each other out. So it's so wonderful to have you all here. So as we kind of wait for more to come on, what I've noticed is that if people aren't aware, hi Laryl, if people are not aware that we're doing this Facebook Live, then a lot of times I'm noticing that they come on. Hi, Annabelle. Wonderful to have you. I notice that people, if they're not aware of the Facebook Live, they come on about 3 to 4 minutes into it. So, super interesting. I've been kind of analyzing this. Hi, Laryl. Oh my gosh, I wish I could open up the curtain behind me. We went over to Laryl's studio and our family made the most exquisite stained glass heart, and it's actually hanging up in the window behind me. Open up those curtains and see your beautiful our beautiful masterpiece, right? We all got together and did that. So I definitely need to take a picture of that also. So again, wonderful to have you all here, and I'm just gonna let people hop on. And today is Lens of Perception. And it's interesting because I was very challenged this morning. Hi, Jenny. Wonderful to have you guys. I was really challenged. So they're doing they're resealing our street, and we got notice of this last night. And so I had to make sure I took my dogs out for a hike a little earlier. When I came back, I had to make sure the dogs were on leashes and get them to the house. And so I'm saying this because today is Lens of Perception, and I'm just thinking of this because I just think, oh my gosh, good morning, Jenny. I was just thinking, oh my gosh, these are all perfect examples of how I need to change my lens of perception. And as I was getting out of my car, there's all of these big trucks. I'm a girl, so I don't want to stereotype, but I don't know the names of all the trucks, dump trucks, I guess, sealers, on my street as I'm getting the dogs out with their leashes. And my first thought, I kid you not, I was like, I wonder if they realize how much they are inconveniencing me. Yeah, that was my first thought. And I thought, oh my gosh, today I'm doing a talk on lens of perception, and my first thought was, I wonder how much they realize they're inconveniencing me. And then I thought, oh boy, so I'm being super transparent and sharing that, and that then I had to change my lens of perception. And I actually went to gratitude, and I went to, oh, thank goodness they're fixing our road. That's what I went to. And then some fellows were on the sidewalk as I was passing them with my 2 dogs on the leash and my water bottle and my phone in my back pocket. And I was like, good morning. And it happened that quick, right? So we can change that lens of perception. I just wanted to be super transparent in that because it really surprised me, I guess, as I'm thinking about, oh, I'm doing this talk on lens of perception, and that's my first thought. So I had to change it pretty quickly. So anyway, welcome. I'm seeing people are on, and so I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's wonderful to see you. I love the hearts. I love the thumbs up. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. So, I just love you guys so much. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome, Carol. Got your name right. I noticed that other people are not calling you Carolina. So I'm like, I think her name's Carol. So anyway, wonderful to have you guys here. So today is all about lens of perception. So I'm going to start out again with just saying happy Wednesday, okay? Happy middle of the week, and happy Archangel Michael Day. And I absolutely love Michael, and I always think of blue with Michael. I think of that blue layer of protection. And so with Archangel Michael, we can call on Archangel Michael, and I'm going to actually, hello beautiful angel Julie. I'm actually going to go ahead and do a protection technique with all of you. And I love Archangel Michael's protection technique. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that first. Oh, it's amazing. And I pull him in a pinch. And so there are times throughout my day that I might feel a little bit of tension. And I realize, and I feel like a lot of you are the same way, I realize I'm an empath. I realize I'm a sensitive. And I realize I'm picking up other people's energy, right? So if I go from no tension to immediate tension, I realize I'm picking up somebody else's anxiety or stress. And so I go to Archangel Michael in a pinch, okay? And it's amazing how quickly he changes. Good morning, beautiful Jennifer. Lovely day indeed. Oh my gosh, mwah, I love you guys so much. It's so wonderful to have you. So we're going to do Archangel Michael's protection technique, okay? And we're all gonna do it together. And so a lot of times I call on the angels 3 times. They just love 3s. And so we're going to call on him, and we're going to ask him to cover us in his blue cloak. And I love this one. Sometimes I've shared this with my classes before. Sometimes I feel like it's like camouflage. And somebody else said the same thing in one of my classes. They were like, it is like camouflage. So this gal in particular, she uses Archangel Michael when, this is hilarious, when she is driving and she sees a cop. She's like, Archangel Michael. And she goes, I swear it's camouflage. I don't get a ticket. And I'm like, go girl, go. Use Archangel Michael whenever you need to. So we're going to do that right now. So a lot of times as I channel, you see my hands kind of go together. So I'm going to go ahead and channel Archangel Michael in. And yeah, think of him as camouflage, right? If you don't want to get a speeding ticket. I thought that was so funny. So here we go. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. And we call on Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael. Please come to us and protect us with your blue cloak from head to toe. And please keep this in place for the entire day. And go ahead and just feel that. I think it feels amazing. Some people say it feels kind of like a weighted blanket. Some people say it feels very protective. And you can drop in the comments if you want to say and share how that felt to you. So now we have that protection. And again, I just feel that, again, I'm talking to the empaths, the sensitives, the clairsentients who feel, right? I feel like that's my audience and that's me. And so we put our protection on, and sometimes if we start dipping in the early afternoon, I feel that especially, or we take on somebody's tensions, take on somebody's stress, we just need to make sure we jump back into protection mode. So I'll share another one another time that I absolutely love with Angel Haniel, and that's just an amazing one too. I do have a cold, so I'm gonna have to cough. I totally apologize. So wonderful to have you all here. So hi, Tiffany. You felt lightness, Laryl. Oh, right, lightness. It's amazing. It's so amazing. Good. And just keep that feeling. And so, as we look at the feelings too, recognize that, Laryl, when you feel lightness again, it's almost as if you know that that's Archangel Michael. You know he's around. Perfect. Hi, Tiffany. And then I saw that Jennifer said it was like a fuzzy blanket or a comforter, right? Oh, good. Angelica says it feels like a cozy weighted blanket, but not too heavy, right? Yeah, it's just like the perfect weight, right? And the perfect weight of protection. And so really think about that. So when I put Archangel Michael's protection on me in the middle of the day, I just call him on him. I just say, Archangel Michael, and it's like a quick like little flip over my head, like a hood. And then that's how I pull him in. But some of you others, you may be like, okay, I need that light feeling. And all of a sudden you pull that feeling in, especially for the clairsentients who feel. I want to feel that comfy comforter, right, Jennifer? And so you're just like, go ahead and feel that. And then Angelica, you know, you're talking about that cozy weighted blanket. Go ahead and feel that. And just know that Archangel Michael is close to you. So I love starting with that. You're protected for the day. If at any time you feel like you're dipping or anything, go ahead and call on Archangel Michael. So super excited about that. I'm actually, this is funny because I have a little tear coming out of my eye. I think just because I love you guys so much. And when I channel the angels, sometimes I do start crying. I'm starting to go a little bit more. They're just so beautiful and so much unconditional love. So there are times after I call in that Archangel that I'll say, enlighten love, enlighten love, enlighten love. Again, they like threes, and they also love love, right? How many people love love here, right? Go ahead and put the hearts. It's so amazing to me. Like when I was a little kid, I was always like, I love love. I would tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, I love love. Who loves love, right? Oh, I love you, Rebecca. Thank you. You're so sweet. You're so sweet too. Such a bright light. Yeah. Doesn't it feel amazing? Okay. I have an affirmation for you. I love the love. Look at Teresa come in. Angelica. I love you guys so much. You guys are going to make me cry. It's good. It's tears of joy. So here's our affirmation for the day. And on Monday, I gave some affirmations. And so this one, your favorite number is 3, Laurel. Boom, 3. I'm loving it. Oh, perfect, perfect. Let that settle in. So here's our affirmation. I'm going to say it 5 times. Then we're going to jump into our lens of protection. Lens of protection. We're going to put more protection on? No, lens of perception. Okay. Okay, so here we go. What it is I travel safely wherever I go. I always meet loving, helpful people on my journey. And I feel all of you are those loving, helpful people. Like, it makes me tear up. My relationship with all of you makes me tear up. So I'm going to just keep saying it. You can close your eyes. You can say it to yourself if you are really good at remembering. You can go ahead and say it to yourself. So here we go. 4 more times. I travel safely wherever I go. I always meet loving, helpful people on my journey. I travel safely wherever I go. I always meet loving, helpful people on my journey. I travel safely wherever I go. I always meet loving, helpful people on my journey. I travel safely wherever I go. I always meet loving, helpful people on my journey. I'm going to go ahead and say it one more time. Hi, Tanya. Oh my gosh, tons of hearts. I love that. Jennifer, I love your emojis, girl. I travel safely wherever I go. I always meet loving, helpful people on my journey. So I wanted to start out with that, the protection, and then also with that affirmation, just because I feel like it really sets the tone. So we're protected and we have our affirmations. Tanya, thank you for all the hearts. Beauty, beauty, beauty. This is so funny. You, beautiful. Tanya's from South Africa. Absolutely love this beautiful woman, Tanya's spirit. And Tanya, I just said, who loves love? Put all the hearts. And a couple seconds later, you come on and you put a bunch of hearts. Are you clairvoyant? Tanya's an incredible oracle. Yeah, I highly recommend her. Incredible. So we're going to jump into the lens of perception. And so as I said earlier, and I was super transparent, I had a challenging morning, right, where they were sealing my road. So there's a ton of trucks outside right now. And I had to park somewhere else. I had to have my 2 dogs on a leash and walk them back to the house. And anyway, my first thought with all of these fellas out here on the street was, do they have any idea that they're inconveniencing me? That was my first thought, you guys. That was my first thought. And so being very transparent with that, I needed to change that, right? And I'm thinking, I'm doing this lens of perception talk, right? So then I went to gratitude, and I was thankful that they were fixing our road. Our road needs fixing, right? And so with that, I was in a lot of gratitude and thank you. They're fixing our road. I saw these two fellas, these big burly men on the sidewalk. And as I was walking by them, I said, good morning. And they were like, good morning. And there we go. There we have it. Again, I just kind of want to apologize. I have a cold, so my nose keeps filling up every once in a while. So with that, it's changing that lens of perception. And so right now, I just want to tell you who's here. We have my grandpa, Frank. He's my biological father's dad. And we have my grandma, Adams, and they're married. And they're both in spirit. That's my biological father's mom. I always call her grandma, so I almost called her grandma. And then we also have my mom's mom, Grandma Louie. Oh, that's maybe another reason why my nose is filling up, because I heard that actually. I heard somebody said there's somebody here who smoked pretty heavily, and that's my Grandma Louie. She smoked 2 packs a day. Boom. So anyway, she's here. I'm like, why the nose, right? So she's here, and then I just want to make sure I tap in. I feel like some of your loved ones are here as well. And so they're here to help us with changing our lens of perception. And I want to assist you with being able to change your lens of perception and to utilize spirit in order to do this. And so with that, this has come through a lot of my journaling. So I journal every morning and I do this emotional clearing technique every morning. And sometimes I don't even want to go there. I'm like, I don't want to talk about fear. I don't want to talk about anger, which are the two things that typically come up, And so with that, though, once I do that, I'm able to clear and change my lens of perception. You can tell I'm channeling because I start using my hands a lot more too. So thanks for the hearts, Teresa. And so I want to just give you some scenarios. So as I brought forward, my biological father's mom and dad are here. So that's my grandma and grandpa. Love them. So I say that, right? And there's a story behind that. Because you hear me say biological father, right? So when my parents divorced when I was 3.5 or 4, kind of hazy there, counselors called that. I went to counseling for a lot of years. I think I've had 15 or 16 different counselors. I grew up on counseling, right? I grew up on counseling and secondhand smoke. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Right, Grandma? Right? Look at her. I know you can't see her. Anyway, I grew up on counseling and secondhand smoke. So all the counselors would say that I was abandoned, right? Dad was still in my life. He just wasn't present. And so a lot of times when I do my clearing, they go back to 4 years old. They go back to 8 years old, right? And 8 years old is when my stepmom came in, okay? And so stepmom did not like me. She did not like me from the get-go. And so a lot of times I'll go back there. So Grandma and Grandpa Adams, they come in, and often you've probably seen me if you've been following me, but I do this if Grandma Adams is here, right? So, and she's so sweet. She kisses me right there. What I've noticed recently is that she comes in when I'm having kind of some negative thoughts. I'm patting back here because young Buddha is back here and he changes my thought patterns. And so she'll come in, and it's usually when she comes in, it's because I've thought a disapproving thought of myself, right? So the other night I was with my son, and I just thought, oh my gosh, am I a good mom? And I thought that thought, right? And I didn't even realize Grandma was there, and I did this, and then I was like, oh, hi, Grandma, right? So I need that approval. I need that approval because of abandonment when I was 4. And so Grandma comes in and gives me that approval, right? And another thing she's helped me to better see and change that lens of perception is that I don't have to go to that abandonment place. I don't have to keep going there. I can go to acceptance. Can you tell I'm channeling? Like I get like really like all over the place. So, and tell me if this is coming through okay. So if there's any technological stuff, I will slow down my body because sometimes that sends the technology kind of crazy when I start channeling. So you let me know. So back to the point. So the point is that I could keep going back to abandonment, right? And rejection. That's another place I go to. And they're having me tell this story. So my stepmom, like I said, she didn't like me. And so I have an older blood sister, and then I also have 2 half sisters that my stepmom had. So there's 4 of us girls over at Dad's house, right? And I noticed when I was 12 or 13, I came to visit every other weekend. My older blood sister, she went to live with Dad. The two other sisters lived there, and here's Heather coming in, every other weekend, right? There's number 4. Boom. So anyway, I noticed when I was 12 or 13, as I walked into Dad's house, that there was not one picture of me in this house, right? Not one. I did not exist, okay? And I feel like that could very possibly resonate with many of you. I didn't exist, right? And so I was in that mode for, from 12 to probably like 17. Every time I went to their house, I noticed that I did not exist, okay? I didn't exist. So we go from, like, let's say abandonment when I was 4, and then this constant rejection every time I went to see my dad and stepmom, right? And I could operate from there. I could, and I have, but I don't want to, okay? And I know there's something better, and I know that there's something better for you. And so if you have a story like that, I'm starting to cry more out of, emotional clearing of like how painful that was, If you have a story like that, a similar story of abandonment or rejection, let's get you to a better place. Let's get you to a better place. And so as I was journaling, and a lot of times I go back to 4, I go back to 8, I go back to 12, right? Grandma Adams comes in. She says, you are approved. You are accepted, right? You are accepted. You're accepted. And that's what we need to do, is change that. And so as she comes in and I'm in some of these modes, she comes in and she's like, you belong. You're accepted. You are approved, right? And then I start going on that vein, right? Just that thought pattern. Just keep going with that. I'm accepted. I belong. I'm supported, right? And these people aren't even in my life anymore, okay? Like they're I don't think I've talked to any of them for 10 years, okay? And so they're not in my life anymore. So why let them rent space up here when, in all honesty, I deserve to be respected? I almost said that too. Yeah, go ahead and respect me too. Accept me. Tell me I belong, right? And sometimes I need to tell myself that. And that's why we started with the protection. Protect yourself from those thoughts of the past, and also from affirmation, doing affirmations, just really allowing yourself to feel that and changing those thought patterns, right? And so I even think about that, like, do they even know they're inconveniencing me? These workers out here, right? And I just think, well, where in the world did that stem from? And how do I change it, right? How do I change it? So that is one of the points I want to make today, is just, first of all, recognizing that thought, recognizing where it came from, and then needing to change it, okay? So needing to change that thought, knowing it's not true, okay? And I often do it with authority figures, like with bosses. If I have a teacher or a mentor, I'll do that. I'll transfer my feelings, my old thoughts of rejection, like they're probably going to reject me, right? And so I know that that's my trigger. If I have people that are kind of like above me, I will go ahead and say, they're probably going to reject me. And so knowing that, and knowing that's my trigger, I say, you know what? But they accept me. And there was one time that I thought a boss like didn't like me, was going to fire me, like whatever else. That's where my thoughts kept going. And it was not true. She pulled me into her office and I'm like, oh crap, here it comes. And she goes, am I losing you? Because you're my best employee, right? Do you see how I was living in rejection? I'm going to get fired. And she pulled me in. And the truth, the reality was that she accepted me, right? That was the reality. And so we really need to see that higher, like that unconditional love. And so I feel like that's why Spirit keeps coming in during this time, is to show us that we got to operate from unconditional love. We have to, right? So instead of looking at these men who are out on the street and then being like, oh gosh, they're inconveniencing me, instead I have gratitude for them. And what that can do is establish a relationship with them. Establish that, hey, good morning, how are you? And so we really need to be able to go into that unconditional love mode for ourselves and recognize that that's how we change that thought, okay? And I hope that makes sense. Definitely ask questions, put some comments in, go ahead and throw some hearts on there, just so I know that you understand that. So what we're doing is we're coming in from that unconditional love, that higher vibration, and really recognizing our worth, right? Recognizing our worth, okay? Recognizing our worth. So here's another one, okay? So that number one was going to that unconditional love and really seriously seeing that true reality, right? True reality. Look at all the hearts. Tanya, Teresa, boom, 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 Laurel. I love it. Boo, boo, boo. Do you love love? Right? So really to get in that unconditional love, because you guys, like, and I see it. Like, I know that all of you, when I'm in your presence, I'm like, oh, I love you. Right? Because I see you. And you got to love yourselves, you guys. I freaking love you. Okay? I freaking love you. And you guys got to love yourselves. Okay? Love yourself. So really come from that love space. Do you see the tears in my eyes? You make me cry. It's a good thing. So another one is the what if. I don't know if anybody here does the what if. And that's me. I'm often in the future, okay? And future thinking causes anxiety, right? So like worry, fretting, that kind of thing. And so the what if, okay? And so, you know, even thinking about what if I get fired from my job. And instead, she's pulling me in saying, you're our best employee. I could never lose you, you know? And so getting into that other thought, right? But also recognizing that we can say what if, and we can also say, but what if not? Right? Let that settle in. What if not? How does your world look if not? Okay? So there are times that I think, oh no, you know, there are times that I might see somebody who has like a broken down car, and I might say, oh no, what if my car breaks down, right? And a lot of times Spirit will say, that's not you, because as empaths and sensitives, we like suck everything in, right? And so they'll be like, no, that's not you, or that's their experience. But also, like, instead of saying, what if my car breaks down, what if I say, what if it doesn't break down? You know? And so in all honesty, I'd have to say like 99.9% of the time, my reality is not necessarily this lower reality. So if I say, what if my car breaks down? And to help me through that, sorry, just a second. So what if my car breaks down? Instead of I say, what if it doesn't? Well, guess what? Guess what? And I love this point that they're bringing up right now. They want me to drop it in now. We're going to drop it in later too. But guess what? The outcome is the same. If I fret, what if my car breaks down? Or if I stay optimistic, my car is not going to break down, right? My car is good. It's awesome. The outcome is the same. The outcome is the same, right? The outcome is the same. My car's doing just fine. Just fine. And so I love that they're intertwining that right now. They're intertwining the what if, and then you jump to what if not. And then also that the outcome is still the same whether you worry or whether you don't. Okay? And I want to also kind of put like a little asterisk there, a little disclaimer that we're not talking about manifesting right now. We're talking about being able to realign our thought patterns, okay? And so again, oh gosh, okay. So for my job, the outcome is the same. Worry, 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 or optimistic that I have an awesome job, the outcome was the same. My boss pulled me in. She said, we love you. You're our best employee. Please let us know that you're staying, right? Okay, so what if or what if not? Here's another example. So I'm an endurance athlete. So I did a half Ironman 2 years ago. And I just remember doing the run, and I was so tired. My legs hurt. I had shin splints, and Spirit just kept saying, run, you have to run. Don't stop. If you stop, you're done. And so I was like running, like feeling sorry for myself, I'm sure. And anyway, I saw this guy, and he passed out. Like, he was a very, 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 athletic guy, toned like no other. And he had all his supplements. He had his, 2 water bottles in each hand. And you could just tell that he was geared for this type of work, right? And I think I had 3 miles left on the run, okay, so the very last event. And I saw him, and this is what I said. I said, what if? I was like, what if I collapse? And Spirit turned me, like seriously turned me, and they said, now look over there. And there was like a really sprite, amazing gal that was, just a little bit ahead of me. And they said, and what if not? What if not? What if you didn't collapse? What if you finished the race? Right? Outcome is the same. I could worry or I could be optimistic. Outcome is the same. I finished the race. And guess who was at the finish line? Grandma. That's all I have to say. My grandma is always at my finish lines, always approving, always cheering, right? And so I hope that makes sense, that second point. So instead of saying, what if, like getting in that worry mode, and I'm always like future. I don't know if anybody else is here. I'm always like thinking future, 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 right? Even to the point, like with this Facebook Live, I was like, what if it's really, really loud? What if it's really, really loud on the street behind me? And people can't hear me in the Facebook Live. And Spirit said, and what if not? Well, guess what, you guys? Nobody's out there. Nobody's out there. They must have taken a lunch break. They must have thought, well, you know what? Heather's going to do a Facebook Live, and her peeps have to hear her. Nobody's out there. There was 15 guys out there. Nobody's out there. No equipment is happening. So I could fret. I could say, worry, worry, worry. Oh my gosh, what if they're in the background? Or I could say, be optimistic and nothing, right? There's nothing going on back there. Either way, the outcome's the same, right? Oh no, I hear some of the trucks. Would that be fun? Okay, we're good. Can you hear the trucks? I'm just kidding. So anyway, okay, and it stopped. So the outcome is the same. Okay, and I hope that makes sense. So again, we're going to go to number 1, unconditional love. Really, what's the truth, right? And how does Spirit see you? And then number 2, what if? Well, what if not, right? Outcome is the same. Outcome is the same, which I love. So let's see, what else are they wanting me to say? Okay, here we go. So number 3 is then, what is their lens of perception? Okay. And I need to throw this in real quick. One of my spiritual advising students, we talk about lens of perception all the time. So things will happen during the week, and then we talk every Friday. And then it's so cute. She's like, and then this happened, and I'm like, okay, what did that mean? What was the sign for that, right? What did that mean? Was that a sign for something, you know? And anyway, she's in her backyard, and I can't remember what she was doing. Maybe looking for her dog's collar or something. She goes, I had my glasses on, and all of a sudden one of the lenses popped out into the backyard. And I just stopped, and I said, so what does that mean? She goes, I need to change my lens of perception. I'm like, boom. Right? It was so funny how lens of perception, and then she lost the lens in her glasses. I was like, that's hilarious, girl. So she needed to change her lens of perception. Again, go to that unconditional love, go to, just that optimism, right? And so taking on another person's perspective. And so again, if I was to go back to my biological father when I was 4 and he abandoned me, if I do that, right, I look at how old he was, and he was 22, right? I feel like 22 is young. I feel like that's really young. Was I ready to have a 4-year-old when I was 22? No. And if anybody's 22 and they have a 4-year-old, kudos, you're amazing. And so really seeing his lens of perception and really coming to empathy with him. And I'm treating my high heart. I don't know if you can see that between your collarbones is your high heart. Love and accept yourself. So I'm talking about my father, right? And I'm just so protecting right here. So with him, 22 years old, right? He was married. I think he was married by the time he was 19 or something like that. And then they had me when he was 22. And I just think, no, I wasn't ready for that at all. And so really looking at that also and recognizing his lens of perception, he needed to get out of that marriage. He needed to not have responsibility for these 2 little girls. And as much as it hurt me, they're having me treat my throat now too. Isn't that funny? So speaking my truth, as much as that hurt me, in all honesty, he needed to get out. And that allowed me to have empathy for him. Here's another thing. His mom, my grandma, who I keep talking about, passed when he was 4. So then he leaves me when I'm 4, right? This lineage is happening, right? This kind of repeated patterning. Yet grandma has come in and she has apologized to me. So his mom, and she says, I am so sorry that I left so soon. I couldn't raise him the way I wanted to raise him. I know he would be a much better father for you if he would have had his mom, right? That's what she said to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, he didn't have a mom. Right? At 4 years old, he didn't have a mom. His mom passed away. Excuse me. And so again, just to have that empathy for this other person, right? And so I'm like, I don't know, I just think about that and how much that's helped me, right? So some of you who know me personally or even in these videos, you see, I feel like I operate at a high vibration, right? I'm talking to these angels and I'm talking to these loved ones, right? Yet you look at my story and you might think, oh my gosh, how in the world is she doing? She was raised on counseling and secondhand smoke. How is she laughing right now, right? Because I've cleared this stuff, because I've changed my lens of perception, you guys. And I hope that helps. I really, really do. I hope that helps. And, go ahead and drop comments in. I hope that technology is going good and everything else. Yeah, so I just want to go ahead and look at some of your comments. I was getting on a roll, wasn't I, you guys? I love all your emojis. I love you guys. I love you. Oh, God, I love you guys. Okay, so Tanya, and I'm the Queen of Perception and Indiana Jane of Synchronicity. Boom. Tanya, she's all, oh gosh, you guys getting her energy. She's another high vibe girl. Yeah, synchronicity is amazing with Tanya. Like always divine timing is incredible. Thank you. I'm beautiful. You're not clairvoyant, just rocked up. Oh, you're so cute, Tanya. She's like, I'm not clairvoyant. I just accidentally picked up the phone. Right. Oh, okay. So I was being a little kind of hypey, wasn't I? I was cutting up the feed. That's so cute. Thank you, my loves, my guys. You guys, my peeps. Awesome. Good. Amazing. The outcome is the same, says Angelica. Love that. So why worry? Yeah, I did say that to you recently, Angelica. You're so cute. You're like, I think you said that to me recently. Yes, absolutely. And so, again, any comments, any questions, like I'll totally leave it open for questions. I can take a drink of water, maybe even have a cough drop, right? If you have any questions or comments. Oh, good, Jenny. I'm so glad. So very inspiring and helpful, giving you a new perspective. Good. Yeah, and it's incredible because you make those shifts, and I'm telling you, loved ones, spirit, your clairvoyance, your intuition, it pops. It pops. I kid you not, it pops. So yeah, good. I'm so glad that resonated with you. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for some more comments to come in, and it's super interesting too, you guys. So I opened up my calendar today and I have an interview. With this gal. Her name is Darcy Lubo. She's doing an interview series and it's all about mastering your mindset, right? So go ahead and drop comments, you guys, questions, anything you want as I tell this story. So it's so interesting, Spirit saying go twofold with that, is that I opened up my calendar and I thought the interview was at 10:30 and it's actually at 10 Mountain Standard Time. And I'm like, but I have a Facebook Live at 9. And they're like, it'll all be perfect timing. So I guess that kind of ebbs us into tomorrow, trusting in spirit, right? It'll all be perfect timing, right? And then, oh good, Laurel, I'm so glad. Just what I needed to hear today. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. And just our potential, how far we can go, how far reaching our potential is. And so the trucks are back. Do you hear them? And so twofold. Let me come back to that. Okay. And so also I had a lot of back stuff that I wanted to talk about today, and Spirit was so beautiful. They're like, we want you to be efficient with this talk today. We'll just drop it in. So I have a few notes, but they just dropped it in. And I love that too. Isn't that amazing? Like, we'll just drop it in. So do you hear the trucks? Right? I'm going to start vibrating here. Then the technology is really going to go crazy. So the trucks are back. So I'm assuming and following Spirit that we are closing. So I'm just going to reiterate, beautiful lights, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be here tomorrow at 9. I'm following Spirit. And tomorrow is trusting in Spirit and looking at the second thought phenomenon, which has recently come through. So we'll talk tomorrow at 9, and I'm going to have my interview with Master Your Mindset, and these people are amazing. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the group, because I think there's 12 different people being interviewed on mastering your mindset. Like, how amazing is that? So I'll put that link in. But again, just to reiterate, so number 1, when we're changing our lens of perception, just to make sure we're staying in that unconditional love, okay? So really seeing ourselves as how Spirit sees us, okay? Then number 2, my ears ringing, I love that. Angels are among us, right? Number 2 is if you go into that what if, or that forward thinking, or that kind of anxiety, just think, what if not, right? Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, maybe 99.9 times out of 100, it's not going to happen to you, right? So you can either fret and worry, or you can have optimism, and more than likely the outcome is the same, okay? And then number 3, to go ahead and empathize, take the other person's lens of perception, okay? So the story of my biological father, right? And I'm good, I'm golden, right? Golden. And I want you to be golden too. Okay, they're coming. All 15 of these construction workers and their 18,000 rigs are coming up the road, so I better wrap up. I love you guys so much. Oh, and my son opened the door because he wanted you to hear it, right? He's like, hey, let's bring it on in. It's all good, Owen. He looks at me like, oh no, it's all good. I was like, oh no, sorry, buddy. He's like, oh no, what did I do? It's so cute. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I love you so much. Spirit loves you. Just change your lens of perception because your potential is incredible. It's incredible. I see you, Brenda. I'm just wrapping up. I love you. So much light and many, many blessings to you. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. And guess what? We're not going to have 15 people out on the street with their trucks. I promise. Okay, take very special care. Much light and love and many, many blessings to you.